1969 to replace the original Second Narrows Bridge. Now the Second Narrows, the body of water I'm talking about, it formerly contained a small island, which was a nuisance for marine traffic. Planners for the original Second Narrows Bridge then demolished the island against the wishes of the First Nations, who advised that the island was actually haunted by evil spirits. Well, those evil spirits must have unleashed some sort of curse, because when the original Second Narrows Bridge was first opened in 1926, in its first 5 years, it suffered more than 20 collisions. One of which was in 1927, where the steamer named the Arana struck the bridge, causing $400,000 in damage. Another of which was in 1930, where the Pacific Gatherer, a 300-ton log carrier, got caught in a riptide while under tow and became firmly wedged under the main span. On the rising tide, Vancouver then watched in horror as the Gatherer simply tore away the main span and dumped it into the inlet. It wouldn't open again until 1934. Now the Canadian National Rail Bridge here, the main span of it is actually operated by the bridge tender, who only lowers the span for the crossing of a train. In front of it is the larger Second Narrows Bridge, and it opened in 1960, but not without its own tragedy. During construction, the entire north arm of the bridge collapsed, killing 18 ironworkers and injuring dozens others. This remains one of the greatest disasters in the history of Vancouver, and for this reason, the bridge was rededicated in 1994 as the Ironworkers Memorial Second Narrows Crossing. Logging has always been a dominant industry throughout British Columbia and in Vancouver. From the early 1860s, mills sprang up at sites along the Burrard Inlet and the Fraser River. They shipped the best, most pristine old-growth timber found anywhere on Earth. Most famously, lumber from these shores were ordered specially for the Celestial Emperor of China, and they were used in the construction of the Forbidden City. Imperial architects required dozens of huge, dense, perfectly straight beams for the construction of the Gate of Heavenly Peace. And off to our right there, maybe you notice some of the salmon jumping out of the water. That's actually one of my first times seeing that. Quite a remarkable treat.
Where? Where's that? I cannot see it too.
British Columbia has served as the third largest production center for television and film for decades. Nearly 60% of all American TV shows and movies are actually shot right here in British Columbia. Last year, the industry brought in $4.8 billion to the province and employed over 35,000 people. Some productions that have been filmed here include Yellow Jackets, Wendy and Peter, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Flash, Supernatural, Supergirl, Riverdale, Green Arrow, Once Upon a Time, Julie and the Phantoms, Deadpool, The Never-Ending Story, the original It movie, the 2014 Godzilla movie, the second Scooby-Doo live-action movie. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm out of breath. This is a big list.
Malamig lang kuya, no? Yeah. So, ay, ito. I'm getting cold too. I forgot my. I thought it's hot.
I'm gonna go over there.
As our ship
Yeah.
is pointed towards the North Shore here, also known as North Vancouver, I'd love to tell you a little bit about the town that was once here called Moodyville. Moodyville is predating Gastown, and it sprung up in response to the inlet's very first successful sawmill. Opened in 1865 by the American logger Sewell Prescott Moody, the mill gained a reputation for producing the best lumber on the West Coast and shipped cargo to Mexico, China, Peru, and Hawaii. Moody ran his mill with a firm hand, however. There was no alcohol allowed on his side of the inlet, so people would often row from Moodyville all the way to Gastown just to get a drink at the end of the workday. Moody oversaw the region's first school.
When I was still still working in Cebu, Nabalamban, we are the one who prepare the because Shinichi is one of the ship like that. They built some ship there, so we are the one who supply the power supply of all the necessary crane, everything, the construction.
Now, off to the front right of our ship there are
Is the
those
water
structures there
deep
with
or
the
really deep?
blue and yellow walls.
Really deep, yeah.
Well, this is the Vancouver Dry Docks, and they are the largest floating shipyard on Canada's west
Yeah,
coast.
floating ship.
Since 1902, Vancouver shipyards have done construction and repair services on all kinds of marine vessels. Now, getting a boat into a dry dock, well, it begins with gear blocks that are arranged on the floor to form a cradle for the ship's hull. The structures we see here are then submerged so that the boat can be towed within and positioned over the keel blocks. The walls that you see here, they're actually filled with water. Water is then pumped out so that the floating dock rises, bringing the ship up with it. The dock here with the yellow walls can actually handle a ship up to 36,000 tons. It can also handle a ship up to 180 meters long and 45 meters wide. Now, this is a great view that we have here, but many of the ships in the harbor here have this interesting brick-like paint at the bottom of them. Well, this is actually an anti-fouling paint that prevents barnacles from growing at the bottom of the ships. Off to our right here, we've got this large yellow crane with some initials on it saying BDD. Well, this is the Burrard Dry Dock. The Burrard Dry Dock is no longer in business. However, it used to be this large concrete pier jutting out from the shoreline. And feel free to wave to anyone there. I'm sure they would love it. Now, the Burrard Dry Dock was incorporated in 1905 as Wallace Shipyards, and this company built over 450 ships, and during World War I built the first deep-sea steel-hulled vessels in Canada. Most famously, however, in 1928, the Burrard Dry Dock built the St. Rock, which was built for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police to patrol the Arctic. The St. Rock is the first ship to travel the Northwest Passage from west to east, and the first ship to circumnavigate North America. Right beside Burrard Dry Dock
Thanks
is
for
ship
watching.